did not change our format. We went our what we call thud tempo. So our full pads were more for protection than anything else. Our first live contact will be Saturday.
Have you got to 2 days yet? Today, that day? Or
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's our first day of 2-a-days. However, that'll be a lighter 2-a-days because our intent will be to scrimmage a significant number of plays on Saturday.
What is your happiness level with Scott Garlano coming back?
Oh, I like Scott a lot. Maturity is always a positive. Experience is a positive. And he's done a really nice job of leadership so far. And so, I think, and from what I've seen so far in camp to this point, I'm really comfortable with what he's doing.
You going to scrimmage stadium or here at the, Saturday?
Stadium.
Coach, 6 days in, will you assess what you're seeing from your team out there here in fall camp?
I like our team a lot. Practice structure is giving us more team reps than we've ever had with fewer injuries, which means we're more mature. Fewer players on the ground, which means that we can go harder, longer, with less risk. And so I think our team is progressing faster. Add a senior or a returning quarterback into that mix, that is accelerating our offensive growth. So I think I like our team, and I think we look really good after however many days it's been, 6 days.
How firm is Zach Stout's hold on Mike, seeing as he's been out a while?
It's not firm. We have great competition at linebacker, and it's really nothing that Zach can control as he's hurt right now. So in order for him to hold the spot, or any player, this isn't Zach specifically, there's enough competition. Going back to your question, the main thing that's happening now is with competition at receiver, competition at our running back spots, competition at O-line, competition in-line, linebacker, secondary, and when a player goes down, it doesn't take long before someone else steps in and has an opportunity, and it could be hard to get spots back.
How should Manoa feel about his spot at Bucknell?
It's precarious, and so it's similar to as if he were injured. And that's his issues are just academically, but it's the same. Practice is going on, and guys are doing better.
How do you feel about the depth at running back right now?
With Algie back, I feel good. When Algie wasn't out there practicing, we were thin. And so, barring injury, and when Jamal is back after game 1, I like our depth a lot. Losing one running back along the way, we become thin.
Bronco, today the NCAA granted autonomy to Power 5 conferences. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah, I was told right when I came off the field.
What is your feeling on that as far as some of these rules that they want to put in, paying players, cost of attendance, stipends, things like that?
So I have mixed feelings. If the true intent is to benefit the student athletes and their well-being within reason, I'm for parts of those ideas. In the discussions that I've been part of, I wish I could say sincerely that is the motive. It usually just is who has the most money, who can provide more for the sake of themselves and their program, not really the student athlete, and it's moving much more toward professionalism and amateurism. And I wish I could say this is all for the student athlete. That's not how I feel. And so I have mixed feelings. And it'll be an interesting time period in college football, and it'll be an interesting time period for the student athletes.
Will BYU follow those rules? How will BYU's football program?
That's a great question. From early discussion with Tom, it is that our intention will be to provide what, number one, myself and he believe are worth following, and we'll pursue all those things that have true and real value to our student athletes and to BYU. So his intent, as he's passed it to me, I think if you look at the world of chasing the Big Five, I think we'll chase what's appropriate, and I think we'll provide everything possible that will benefit our student athletes, not only on the field but off, but also within reason. And again, when you consider now the 120 plus Division I football schools and the number that are in the black, which based on which surveys you look at, it's anywhere from only 15 to under 25, and now say they're going to provide more. Interesting to see where that money's going to come from. And if, like, possibly student fees, students will step up and say, yeah, I'm going to give more money, so the student athlete can get more money.
Has it been an
It'll be
issue?
interesting to watch how that's justified. You drop
That's me,
something?
sorry.
So that actually disqualifies you from another question. Once you drop something, that goes to somebody else. So I'm going to go to this side now. No, sincerely, I'm going to this side now.
Okay, Coach, I wanted to ask you more about your defensive situation. You've got guys that are running with the second and third unit that normally would be running with the first unit. How does that affect your preparations for week one?
It really doesn't. We have to balance two things at the same time: first game preparation and season preparation. And so working that format gives our best chance to do both and teach young people at the same time, hopefully with as much autonomy as we can. And so far, so good.
Is Christian Stewart getting what you consider to be typical number 2 reps, backup
More
reps?
More reps than most number 2s have gotten. And again, with the nature of offense we play, even though Taysom is durable, even though he is fast, even though he is tough, the chance that mobile quarterbacks could go down at some point, you have to prepare for it. And if you just look simply at our game versus Utah State last year, and that game was very difficult on Utah State once Chucky Keaton went down. To credit to their program, they rebounded and found a way. But it does alter your plan, so we're doing our best to make sure our number 2 is getting more reps than normal in the event of that happens.
Put a lot on your safeties. What has Harvey Jackson showed you that he knows how to do being a senior?
So he's picking up the defense quickly. He's really, when I asked him the other day about BYU, he said, number 1, you have to be special to be here. And I asked him, what does that mean? He said, number 1, you have to want to live standards that not many people want to live. And he said, then you have to try harder than I've ever thought you could try. He said, I'm more tired now than I've ever been in my life. And so the demands on what we ask physically are high. So he's adjusting to that still, even though he's experienced. You ready for